Substance abuse, also known as drug abuse, is the use of drugs in amount or methods which are harmful to the individuals or others. Substance abuse is a health problem globally. The prevalence of substance abuse among the youth is alarming. The problem may not only harm individuals, but also affect families and society as a whole. In some cases, criminal or anti-social behavior occurs when the person is under the influence of a drug, and long-term personality changes in individuals may also occur. Various researches done in recent years shows that substance abuse among the youth is on the rise and has a number of related fatalities. For this case, such an issue cannot be taken lightly by us, the youth, and left unaddressed. That's why it is going to be our topic of discussion today with me, Jima Bosco, and my fellow comrades. Welcome. So, welcome me with a clap actually. Big like. Okay. I will actually go direct to the first question. Why do you think some youth engage in substance abuse? Yes, Kabaka, welcome.
I'm Kabaka Thomas. One of the reasons is that the youth are depressed. There are a lot of pressures of life ranging from unemployment, maybe relationship breakup, which most of the youth find it difficult just to withstand. So as a result of escaping through those challenges, most of the youth went to alcohol and drugs and substance abuse, which later lead to addiction, resulting into low productivity of their life and also leading to miserable life. In psychology, there is what they call fantasy versus reality. So what do I mean in fantasy versus reality? Because most of the youth, while they are still in universities or institutions of higher learning, they do not know what will happen after their courses. Most of them have that confidence that actually after I finish, I'm now doing medicine, engineering, law, amongst others, that after finishing, I will just get job immediately, although I will not be working very hard for looking for those jobs. So because of all the pretexts that they have in their mind, they do not know what will happen after school outside there. Life in school is always different. It's always different from life in the community or in the society there. So they find it hard to cope up with the pressure of life, and as a result, they end up drinking, and most of them are just wasted, and resulting into most of them are outcasts. As a result of all this, most of them develop low self-esteem. Now, even the nature of the body, the physical appearance has just deteriorated, making them become vulnerable to the community. And most of them, as a result, found it hard to succeed in life.
Okay, I'm Babaya Peter. I'm going to give some of the reasons as to why youth engage themselves into drug abuses. Before that, I have to give slide definition of drug abuses. It is a substance when taken into excess, it alters the function of the body. Yeah, the reason as to why these youth engage themselves into drug abuses is because of pleasure. Because they have to take this drug for a taste of pleasure. They want to taste the feeling of how that thing it is. So another reason is it is all about pressure. You know, nowadays youth have more impact on others. Like if they see other friends, they engage themselves into these substances, so they have to also, they are under the pressure of also taking those substances, because they cannot, if I'm your friend and you are taking drug, there is also possibility of me taking the same drug.
Okay. So, Peter is talking of some youth want to, they want pleasure, they want to experiment how it feels like actually when they take those drugs, and also due to peer pressure, yeah? So I think that we have another youth who want to give his comments, yeah? Welcome.
My name's Benson. So, to just put in a few points on the question, my friends, I've heard my friends saying there's the peer pressure, there's depression. Yes, they're very good points here, and like to add on, just on the two, based on the two. So, youth are at a stage where, say, we need to connect. We have that desire to connect so that we move forward. So in that desire to connect, it can be because of some background issues that bring about depression, as my friend here said. Also, in that time of being depressed, you find that the youth will try to find an escape plan. Yes? So you'll find them looking around for the drugs so that at least you feel the thoughts are not there too much. Yeah. So and also, to go back to where I was saying, there is that desire to connect. As a youth, you don't know who you are going to connect to before you go connect to them. So you go connect to them as you go. So you find that desire to connect to these people. You find you like the company, but there are some things they engage in which you don't. Those things might be drugs, and they abuse them. You know, abuse is that overusage. You are doing it over and over and over again, which is turns out to affect you in negative ways. Yeah. So I'd like to say, okay, also that desire to connect is about the peer pressure. Also, you find that when you are not satisfied with the relationship you're expecting, you get disappointed, you get annoyed, you get angry, you go back to depression. Again, the cycle starts. The drugs will be there also. Yeah, so.
Wow. Great point. Fellow youth is saying some people want desire for, or they want to connect. They want to connect with their friends, which to me is like being desperate for acceptance. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure we have one more person who want to contribute to this. The first question. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that question. I think most youths engage in substance abuse because of, okay, first of all, it's because of peer influence and peer pressure. Like for instance, you find most of them, after finishing high school, they were just clean. They never did any drugs, they didn't do alcohol. But now after joining campus, in campus they're just free. They can do whatever they like. And also in campus, most of the second years, third years, fourth years, and also some first years, they normally take alcohol, they do drugs. So for this, maybe person who used to be clean and is in campus, okay, he or she can get influence and they begin using the drugs and also alcohol.
Okay. Wow. Strong point. To caught my attention, some explanations or some points by some of us here made me actually want to stay actually in that topic a little bit longer, or in that first question. And actually, I would like to ask, because somebody said that some youth engage themselves in substance abuse because they are depressed or unemployed. And I would really want to ask, do you agree that substance abuse is a way of eliminating stress if that person took it because of stress or because of depression? Is it the way of eliminating stress? Yes, Loki.
Actually, according to my opinion, and it is a strong opinion, actually it's not.
Okay.
Reason behind that is, after taking drug, you know drug. Yeah?
Yeah.
Drug is something like alcohol, for example, or bang. For example, those people who are using drugs like alcohol, during that time, we say that someone was depressed, have a stress, he was overworked during the day. So if he feel like taking alcohol to solve that case, it's not the way. The possible ways that a person can use to relieve that stress, either you can make yourself busy, also you can exercise yourself, go to field, do whatever you can. Yeah, make yourself at least, yeah, to enjoy something. My question, my answer is not.
Yeah. Wow, it's a great point because we have heard of some activities that you can do when you are stressed. Yeah, you actually don't really have to go into drugs or experiment anything for you to kill that depression or stress. Fellow youth have said what you need to do is to make yourself busy. You can go to the field, you can play, and he has given a very tricky activity also, that take a chewing gum and also try to make yourself or your mind busy, because by chewing, I think you are going to forget actually, what is troubling you.
Yeah.
It's a great point. Yes, one person also.
Nowadays, so many cases of suicide has been recorded due to such kind of drug. You know, when person have some maybe depression or stress, they engage themselves into such kind of substances, of which it add on problem on top of problem. So you find that most people who are doing suicide, they are not sober. They take this drug. And my advice is that please, whenever you have some stress or depression, go somewhere else, visit your friend, you go and talk to your friend, make fun. That is all. Never involve yourself into such kind of drugs.
I'm Tia. I would like to add on that point of stress. Ask for your friend for advice for him or her to help you. Instead of you being confused, going there to the bar, drinking alcohol, it will not help you. So at least for that thing to be to help you or to go away from it, just find a place, a safe place, a cool place. Just go and relax yourself to make it at least be peaceful.
So we know, we have identified, we have seen the dangers associated with taking drugs like opium, bang, as you name it, and we have seen that it is not good to take drugs. There are some of the things that you can do to keep yourself busy, to stay away from drugs. Yeah, you can go for volleyball, you can go for football, you can just maybe go to church, to a nearby church, maybe join the choirs of the church where they are. Whenever they are making practice, you go and practice alongside with them. We have so many activities at home that you can do, like we have plants, you can water the plants around the homestead, at least to keep yourself busy. And you know that running away from a problem is not solving it. There are so many ways we can solve our problem. If it is unemployment, if it is heartbreak, if it is divorce, so there are so many ways you can solve your problem instead of trying to escape from the problem.
Do you agree that substance abuse is a way of eliminating stress?
And that's not true, because even after you let's say you take alcohol for you to eliminate your stress. Yes, you can take alcohol, and for some time when you're drunk, yeah, you might tend to forget. But once your head is clear, maybe the following day, the same stress will come back, and you can't keep on drinking so that you keep on forgetting. You'll end up dying, I think. Yeah.
Do you agree that substance abuse is a way of eliminating stress?
In some extent, yeah. Because for some people, they find it difficult to open up. So they tend to like opt for drugs and all that, because for some the pain is, yeah, like too much, so they tend to like, it's a way of numbing the pain and just forgetting about it. In some extent, you forget about everything, but okay, in the long run, you just come back to, yeah, whatever the issue was. So I think in some extent, yeah, it's a way of numbing the pain.
Wow, I think we have got strong points from our fellow youth concerning this question, and I think we are going to go to the next question. Yeah, and I would like to actually know that why do you think substance abuse among the youth is dangerous?
Drugs and substance abuse are so detrimental to the health of the youth and the entire population as a whole. Drugs lower your IQ. When I talk of IQ, I talk about the intellectual content, how intellectual you are. So the moment, every moment you take drugs, actually, it actually depreciates your brain by 0.03%. This is what scientists have proved. And let's say you are taking it for almost, let's say, 3 years consecutive, and each day your brain is reduced by, the capacity is reduced by 0.03%. So for 3 years, so actually the brain will not function properly as a normal human being. And also, in addition to that, so women who are pregnant and they are taking alcohol, so they will give birth to premature babies, and if babies are given birth, they will be underweight. They will not have that real weight that normal babies are always having, because the mother is not maybe healthy, is not eating enough food. All the food is the mother is eating, the child will also receive. Like for example, if the mother take alcohol, so the child will also feed on alcohol, which is so dangerous to the health of the baby.
It will lead to family crisis. You know, these people who usually take drugs, they sometimes find that they are not in good terms with each other. You know, there are some other very mere issues that we can handle, but to these people who are under the influence of these substances, they cannot handle things in a right manner. They find themselves that they have to quarrel, they have to do all this, and all these things, it will lead to family breakup. So, not only that, but also to students out there, when you find a student who involved in taking these substances, you may find that the academic performance is very low, because the moment they take this drug, they cannot read, or they cannot find time to read. They engage in taking drugs.
So in addition to what Babaya Peter has just said, I'm also going to talk about poor social image. So a person who was respected, a person who was once respected, after staggering, fighting in bars, picking quarrels, will not longer be respected, because he or she might have lost the social image that he usually portrayed. You know, because of all these behavioral disorders, a person will lose respect actually within the community level.
Wow. I think you've all given very positive points actually, which can open somebody's mind concerning this question, because especially when you talk about long term actually use of this substance among the youth, because first of all, what youth are referred to as the energetic and the most productive people in the society, and they are actually depended on by most or by the whole society. So if the youth actually turn to drugs and concentrate completely on drugs, it actually means that we are lacking people who can develop our society the way they should, yeah? Because they will be there in the streets, staggering, doing nothing, sleeping 24/7 without doing anything. Therefore, this drugs or substance abuse, if in excess, is going to ruin not only the life or individual lives of our fellow youth, but it's going to ruin the whole society and the whole generation. Because you have said that in a long term, it is going, if it is being used in a long term, actually, it's going to interfere with a reproductive system, yeah, which we might not have or produce energetic people in the future. I don't know whether that is scientifically correct, but it should be correct, because you cannot overuse these drugs and expect to be normal in a long term. Therefore, this this drug abuse or substance abuse among the youth need to be addressed and addressed fast and immediately. Therefore, we are going to our last question, and actually, which I expect it to be interesting. And the question is, which measures do you think should be put in place by the government to discourage substance abuse among the youth? Yes?
Okay, the most important thing the government can do is at least try and create employment opportunities for the youth, because most youth out there, they engage in drugs because of idleness. Most of them are just idle. Maybe they have nothing to do. But if maybe that person had a job, at least they would be kept busy. And even if they drink, maybe it will be maybe in the evening after coming from work, of which that person will drink responsibly, knowing that the following day he or she has to be at work.
The lawmakers and the members of the authority have to come up with the policies that regulate the sellings of these illicit brews, because we don't have to sell these brews to everybody who can afford to buy it. At least some policies have to be put in place, like someone who is still maybe a student at this particular level is not supposed to buy drugs. Whenever he or she has money and he wanted to go and buy them in bar, he will not be allowed, because he or she is still studying at school. So this can reduce, or it can lessen the chances of people getting involved in drugs.
The role of government in such a scenario in handling drug abuses is to maybe form some committees. These committees are there to give awareness, to move from community to community, to give awareness on the dangers of drug. So this is one of the important things government has to do to reduce the intake of these drug abuses. This is one of the points I have to give. Thank you.
Thank you again for letting me participate. And on that, I think the measures, okay, there are good points. There is input of great points. So I'd like to add on the awareness part. Awareness, we can also create awareness, not only on the drugs dangers, but also the government is a large body capable of, say, doing something from a point higher, going down. So I think the government in the long term can create more positive ways to deal with, say, issues, let's say, like stress, positive upbringing, so that okay, there is a better way to deal with my issues, or there is a better way to this peer pressure that I see I'll have to get into. I think more awareness on more productive ways that we can go about the community other than drugs. You see, drugs, once you get tied to drugs, there's no coming back. Very few have come back from drugs.
Yeah, I want to add another point on the measures. So one of the role government has to do is by creating some rehabilitation centers to handle these people who are severely addicted to this kind of drug. For example, if we go to a certain communities out there, like you may find these people who are really addicted to these people, and it is not easy for you to talk to this person so that he or she will leave this kind of drug. At least these people have to be taken somewhere, like in rehabilitation places, where they cannot meet with this kind of drugs again. There they will live positively and they will be detached from this kind of drugs.
I think we have given really very strong points, which the regulations that we think, or the policies that the government should put in place concerning the misuse of substance by the youth, and actually all that we have given are very strong, yeah, because we care about the future of the youth, yeah. So I think first of all we need to give ourselves a round of applause for that good job. Actually, I am actually personally I'm motivated, and I am happy to see how actually active we have been in this session. So that was our last question actually, and folks, it will be safe to agree that there are high risk factors for substance abuse, and its understanding can help community at large to address substance abuse among the youth. We long for a better world for youth because we, the United Youth Forum, cares. Kindly take precautions because substance abuse is very dangerous. Until you see us again, from us, it shall be a bye-bye for now. Thank you.